Alrighty, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Smudcast number 213. What the Star Wars sequel trilogy could have learned from the Legend of Korra. Now, we were just talking about it before the stream. What the hell do these two things have in common? I don't really know. But
Nothing.
But we can say without a doubt that the two main characters are both female, and they may just be Mary Sue's. So I don't know how one poorly written character is going to somehow be a better thing for another poorly written character of the same problem. But maybe there's less versions of Mary Sue-ness on one to the other. Who knows? So let's find out. Oh boy. This is a 9-minute video. And just to fill you in, this is from a YouTuber called the Objective Geek. So naturally, I'm like, oh, okay, this could be up my alley. Let's see what he has to say. Description on the About page. I give the most honest in capital letters, unbiased, and of course, objective reviews and opinions in the geek and movie culture. Okay.
All right, Marlon.
High bar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking him so far. Even the grammar is not perfect, but that's fine. I don't care. Movie reviews are unlike any you have seen. I break a movie down into 6 categories. Okay, here we go. Story, emotion. I don't know what that has to do with the movie, but okay. Action. Well, I guess maybe some movies don't have action. He doesn't like it. Okay. Comedy. Again, rom-coms. If they're not rom-coms, they're bad. Acting. Okay, that's important. And directing. Interesting. I don't know how you would gauge directing unless you actually talk to the director or something. Categories are weighed differently based on the genre and scored 1 to 10 to average out to an objective score. Okay, so he's doing numbers. He's using 1 to 10 for story, 1 to 10 for emotion. He's dividing by 6. That makes sense. The problem I have with this already is we're talking about a movie. You're talking about a visual and audio medium. So there's no special effects. There's no camera or cinematics. There's no music score. There's no sound score. There's no... I don't know, just like you're missing the actual medium, buddy. I don't know. You're missing what a movie is, but okay, that's fine. Oh, boy. So he likes geek culture from Avatar to the Dragon Prince to DC Comics, much more. And he does a Legend of Korra Last Airbender podcast. Okay, so not the perfect way to describe objective critique, but hey, he's getting there. He's on the track. He's just got to keep it up. All right, so this is a 9-minute video. Shouldn't take too long. Let's get going.
Don't get me wrong, the Star Wars sequel trilogy is good, but...
Okay. And already we failed.
Objective, yeah?
It's good. Objectively good? Subjectively good? Do you kind of like it? Is it just your taste? Like, why is it good? Tell me.
You can subjectively enjoy it all you want. That's not the issue. That's never the issue. Some people enjoy B movies.
We could argue and say that the Last Jedi or some other films aren't as good as other films in the sequel trilogy, or you can just say outright that they have a big budget. Therefore, they're entertaining because there's so much visual cinematography and set design that are done well. You could argue that.
Put more money into it. That will make it good.
Well, visually, yeah. I mean, CGI does a good job these days from LucasArts.
Oh yeah, like definitely. Like you have like the best visual metaphor in the sequel trilogy. Like when Luke was milking the Space Monster, you can see like a metaphor that Disney is milking the franchise, and this is like a subliminal message because you can like make so many things out of it. But
the themes.
Hey, we paid $2 million for this animatronic. We must use it now.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that thing.
I want to spend $1 million on this giant sea mouse, whatever.
Ryan, are you nuts? We don't have more money for this shit.
Wait, did I say 1 million? I meant 2 million. We
need the helicopter.
We need the helicopters to tow it into some crazy rock that it's so dangerous to film on.
A protected island that we're actually not allowed to film on for too long, or we will get into trouble.
Yeah,
they had like 3 days to film on that island. That was the entire total amount of time they could have spent there.
Brilliant.
Like they had to barricade like certain areas. That's crazy.
All right.
And they could have like shot that in the studio.
And the 30
You
billion.
don't think that not some really awesome movie came out of it that you open your heritage site for, but this?
Well,
I hope they didn't damage anything for that.
That was crazy just to learn that he wanted this crazy gigantic creature that was fully created. Another thing was the $30 million set, which Mark Hamill said was the most opulent set he's ever seen, which was that what was they call the crane shot of Canto Bites Casino, that whole thing.
Oh, the casino shot, yeah.
Oh.
30 million. Woohoo.
Jesus.
That didn't add anything to the story.
Nothing to the story.
Hey, see that?
Hi, I got my cat fed.
You got your cat fed.
My cat fed.
You're feeding people. You're supposed to. That's good. That's a good job.
With cheese.
No.
Cheese. I only feed my cat cheese.
Never feed your pets cheese. That's a bad idea.
My cat will come up to my face and eat the cheese out of my mouth just to eat it.
Oh my god.
Like she'll steal it. I don't know.
Okay, the hormones found in milk from like cows and cheese probably not the healthiest thing for a small mammal like a cat. So
Well, my cat also eats Doritos. Like if one of them accidentally drops on the ground and I just decide to be lazy a little bit before cleaning it up, they will eat the Dorito.
do you feed it once a day or like once a week? Like what's your...
They have a gravity feeder. They eat as much as they fucking want.
Oh my god.
And they're still like Doritos.
Okay.
How
All
old
right.
is your cat?
But enough about cats.
Okay.
We're
Fine.
4 seconds in.
Well, apparently the sequel trilogy is
And he
amazing.
dropped his bomb.
The sequel trilogy is good. Like, oh god.
The Vietnam flashback of all Star Wars fans.
In the first 3 seconds, did he say that the sequel trilogy?
I'll rewind
is
it.
good?
Watch. Here we go.
Yeah.
4 seconds.
Don't get me wrong, the Star Wars sequel trilogy is good.
No, not one of these.
Ah!
Is this bait?
Is
No. He's good. He's good. He's good. He's a good YouTuber.
Okay.
You know, according to his bio, he's got he's got story, emotion, action, comedy, acting, and directing, and then he divides by 6 after a score of 10, and here you go. It's objective.
Let's listen to his sentence. Maybe he's gonna explain.
But it can be great if it learns some lessons from another sequel in a very beloved franchise. Let me explain.
It wasn't a good sequel.
That wasn't the sequel. That was fan fiction. Bad fan fiction.
It was bad fan fiction by the actual
If you're new here,
creators.
we do plenty of videos like movie review.
No. I wouldn't say that.
No,
The co-creators. The
Co-creators
co-creators.
definitely, because like
This-
Wisp. Yes.
Okay,
Just like Game of Thrones. The initial creator leaves. In that case, Martin, if you will. And then it just turns to shit because the co-creators, like D&D, don't know what they're doing.
It's more like a perfect marriage between the lead writer and the Break. Break had kind of the vision, and they had a lot of the Avatar style and humor and kind of the pace of it, while the head writer, Aaron Kinix, he really put structure to these characters, because I've gone and seen his show that he wrote all by himself, and it feels Avatar, but it doesn't have that unique rhythm that Bright gives it. And it sort of carries over where Korra has the rhythm and kind of has that spark, but they have no organization that the head writer gave. So that's sort of the difference between the pair.
Yes, it's the good thing is when you can be a good co-creator, but you can stumble on your own. You need all the elements.
Yeah. Something with something lightning in a bottle is Avatar, almost.
Yeah, and when instead of sticking with the world, you just turn it upside down just because you have a 1920s steampunk fetish.
Right. But
Yeah,
steampunk
then
ruins everything.
yeah, then they should have just done some the steampunk parallel universe to Avatar instead of going into Avatar for the brand name. Maybe it would have been good.
No, I don't really know what the the onus was to make the sequel?
Money.
Write the name
But
and
they
put your
struggled the
stuff
whole
into it.
time.
Hmm?
Korra didn't make that much money. It struggled the entire time it was on air.
Yeah, but they didn't know that before. But because before that was just, here, look, huge brand. We still have this brand. We can do something with it. Let's do.
I mean, they
What
could have done a lot with it. They just decided to take it in the most ridiculous direction.
Yeah.
And like what they did make had potential. You could kind of see it if you got past a lot of the world building, the actual story, if it was just written just a little bit better.
It would have, I think it would have been even more interesting or workable if instead of just dumping us into Avatar New York with steampunk, that they would have given us the early transition from the very beginning. That you go into, that you are still in the old school Avatar world, and then you have these tinkerers that start to come up with new ways to use the bending for technology and harness power.
Or
that would have been
with
more
the angle that look at this world now that you don't need bending to get ahead, but they still think that they're oppressed, which makes sense after the 100-Year War that non-benders would really hate benders, but it was always very shallow. But let's get into the video.
All right, here's Jake the Surgeon. Thank you, Jake. I am the storm that is approaching. Oh, isn't that nice?
Jake the Surgeon.
I too enjoy being a storm and going places and singing at the top of my lungs in a death metal song. But, you know, that's my other job.
Love to hear it. Oh my god.
Reviews, theory, and analysis, so consider subscribing so you don't miss out. The Legend of Korra and the Star Wars sequel trilogy both follow grand fantasy tales that tell the story of a ragtag team of heroes against an overwhelming army of evil, a chosen one character, wise mentors, redemption arcs, and fan-pleasing conclusions. Both follow-ups have varying degrees of success compared to their predecessors, but I think The Legend of Korra does a far better job continuing the story. Here's a list of things.
Okay, so we could argue and say that Korra is less crap than the sequel trilogy.
Less crap than the sequel trilogy. That's not a high bar to pass to be better than the sequel trilogy, but Korra didn't do a great job either.
I just want to say,
well,
I have. Go on.
We're talking about two Mary Sues, right? So automatically the bar is very low. But
right. Okay, so which is the worst Mary Sue?
Which is the worst out of the two? I would say, arguably, because we're talking about what Disney did, the change in directors and writers, the nature of doing big budget films and productions, and the insanity that was Episode 9, I would say by default, without even knowing too much about Korra, that Korra probably does it better.
I think she's the least worst. I think Rey is the worst Mary Sue because at least Korra gets the shit beat out of her a couple of times, and
even taken away her powers at one point.
Korra has a hint of a personality. Rey doesn't have any.
She has a hint of. You can actually put personality traits on Korra, like her being brash, abrasive.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than you can say for Rey, who's just a non-entity.
Yeah, you can even make. You could have even made something out of the setup with her being sheltered all her life, but they by the White Lotus because they got scared that the Avatar might get disappear again, so we need to Oedipally lock her up and get the trainers to her instead of having the Avatar have adventures around the world, as was the thing for thousands of years.
It's an backwards reasoning for why.
It's a really stupid decision, but you could have made an interesting story out of that, of how that messed the Avatar up so much because of this completely ruined parenting style and teaching style, that she would fail at everything all the time. They do this just a little bit where she gets to the city the first time and everything's weird, but disappears quite
Message
quickly.
coming in.
It's more hijinks
Patching it through.
than anything. But Smud, Mark, how much of Avatar have you seen?
I watched like the first few episodes and I gave up and watched the other talk
coming
about
in.
it because I was
Patch it through.
Korra was so unlikable like that I just couldn't finish it.
Have you seen the original series, the
Yeah.
Last Airbender?
The Airbender is the one I know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you haven't seen much of Korra. Fair. Yeah, it's you know enough about Korra if you watch the ER breakdown.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's those
Everything
videos
says
are
it's
masterpieces.
Very accurate.
Yeah.
I know. I love him. I share his passion for The Last Airbender.
And
I simp
I
for you.
completely agree, and I've seen the whole of
Message coming
Korra,
in.
and I always hoped it would get
Patch it
better, but I just grew more frustrated with it, and then I just finished it because completioning thing.
But they were lesbians at the end, Wiz.
No, they weren't. They were giving in to some shippers on Tumblr.
They
That was
really-
fucking disgusting.
fucking degenerates.
Oh, hand holding. Oh god, so lewd.
Hand holding before marriage.
They're not pregnant, both of them.
Oh jeez.
Well, degenerates always like them belong on a cross, so it's not like big mystery.
Oh,
What?
like,
Jesus
to
was a
spot-
degenerate?
I was watching someone play New Vegas.
Did you
last
just
night.
insult Jesus?
Oh my goodness, did I? No.
No, not Jeebus.
I just have to say one thing. I have a bit of personal whining problem. Just have a bit of trouble following him because he's talking very quietly and very mumbly. Maybe even objectively.
Oh my goodness.
Well, the video is objectively badly edited. I made a new bingo card because I felt like some of those aspects were not included in the bingo so far.
Oh,
It
really?
includes like bad microphone quality or just bad sound mixing in general and bad editing.
Quality video that they pull. Like, look at the fucking pixels here. I can count the pixels in this.
Like you can just like go to the episode and like screenshot it if you want. Like you can just go to YouTube, get that scene, and this is just bad.
Try harder. Yeah, like, come on.
Oh.
This is bad.
All right, let's keep going here. Joe Crazy, I'm Ray Skywalker. You got to deal with it. Well,
Pretty much.
at least that's a
much.
backstory. Okay, that's something. Okay. So-
It's something, at least her being a Mary Sue, her being the Avatar. Well, she's the most Mary Sue Avatar, but at least she has more reason than Ray.
I'm Ray, nobody from Jakku.
And
And I
Korra
look for my
actually killed the
parents.
past.
I love one video where it's that scene. It goes, Ray who? And then she's quiet for a long time, and it goes, Ray who? In the background over and over, and then she never responds. It just ends. You're like, yes. That's how it should have ended.
Oh, Jake the Surgeon. Korea? What? Korea is your standard healthy stool. Okay. The Star Trek.
Sometimes Korra.
Is it- What is happening? The Star Trek is a sloppy, pitch black liquid shooting from a horse's rectum. What am I?
What the fuck?
What are we talking? Jake, what are we talking about? I'm a bit confused here.
The sequel
Someone need the
trilogy, not the
brain
Star Trek.
Oh,
Star Trek.
okay.
The sequel trilogy. We're not talking about Star Trek.
Okay. I'm sorry. I see STT and G. My brain goes, what?
I know, I understand.
Okay.
Jake the Surgeon used Star Trek. Now he's confused.
All right. That's an opinion that many of us share. So that's okay, Jake. We get you. Jake the Surgeon. Korra also. Oh, okay. Thank you. Korra. Autocorrect is the big gay. I got. Oh, now it makes
Yeah,
sense.
Korra gets corrected to Korea a lot whenever I'm typing about it.
Okay. I understand. Okay. Let's keep going.
The sentence. It makes sense. Great.
The big gay.
Things the Star Wars could have learned from The Legend of Korra. Spoilers for both series ahead. First off, use past characters sparingly. Possibly to fans' dismay, The Legend of Korra didn't bring back old characters for major roles in the show. Sure, some showed up here or there, like Toph and Zuko, but they never overshadowed the new cast. while in the sequel trilogy, it seems to be all about the old cast. In Force Awakens,
No.
Han's death was
No.
No, because they fucking systematically murdered each one of the old cast.
Yeah, and they didn't have much screen time either.
Like, I think they fucking jerked off to their corpses. Like, that's how pleased the sequel trilogy was, killing off the original
They
trio.
got-
Like,
Killed all
every
of
movie
them.
a character dead.
All
Pretty
of
much.
them.
Kill-
Who died in Rise of Skywalker?
Forget the bats.
Leia.
Kill it if you have to. Leia.
No, she
What,
died
no?
in she died in TLJ.
No, like the actress died, but like
Oh,
she-
Luke
God.
died in The Last Jedi at the end.
Yeah.
I know we all forget it.
I, for some reason, I keep thinking that Leia died too, but because nothing makes sense in that fucking movie.
Yeah, no, that's just the puppeted corpse of poor Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher. Yeah, and
Try
like
not to be
unused scenes from Force Awakens and like just Force Awakens actually. Like unused scenes
Really?
from Force Awakens were used. Nothing from TLJ.
That reminds me of the unused scenes in TLJ with Luke. They just didn't bother to have him mourning Han's death because, you know, that's not important. They have to focus on Rey more.
It takes too much time to include like
They
a
had to
half
focus
a
on the-
minute
on the-
scene.
They had to focus on the milk monster instead of letting Luke weep. Instead, he was
I think like
drinking
somebody
the
on
milk.
YouTube like tried to explain it in a way that like, well, we already have a scene of Luke where he's like mourning the past. When he sits down in the Falcon and talks with R2D2, but that's like a totally different scene. It's like,
Atmosphere. He's mourning his glory days. He's not mourning his friend.
Oh, yeah, no. We have to see him pole vaulting, fishing, and drinking milk. That's much more important, guys. Come on.
yes.
You know, just like I need to get this out. When I sat in the cinema for TLJ, and so I don't remember whether Carrie Fisher was already dead at that point. I think she was.
Yes.
She was dead after
Good.
Principal.
Yeah. So I said in the, it's just for consistency in my head and makes sense again. When she was blown out the ship in space, drifting, a corpse adrift, and I thought, oh, that's bold. That's a somewhat heroic end. It's a bit, quaint, but you also the character, the actress is dead. So okay, we can do. That's when you can do some sort of disposable death as well. Well, I said heroic before, but you can see it either way, because it's all a gripping, tight scene. And I thought, wow, that's well done. It's good. And then she does the Mary Poppins.
That scene could have mattered to Kylo because you see him like going to go and push the button, and he can murder his father in cold blood, but he can't even kill his mother.
No, he killed his mother.
He didn't take the shot. It was someone else that killed her, and so having that impact him in some way, that maybe actually the line of being evil is his mother, and maybe that's what at least what
all right, he didn't shoot.
or at least Snoke.
Right,
It
he
was like
didn't
a-
shoot. It was some TIE fighter that shot missiles,
Yeah.
which TIE fighters don't do.
Oh.
TIE fighters don't shoot missiles. But
It's
anyway,
like-
I think already like a TIE fighter just
Oh,
like
this is-
shooting down the
this is
bridge
one
of a
of these-
capital ship.
this was one of these. I hope there is either already a law for that or a trope name for that. But it's this. I want both cool looking scenes. One cool looking scene is, Kylo is emotionally tense and he doesn't take the shot because he can't kill his mother. But we also want the big explosion where Leia flies out into space. So another nameless side character takes the shot anyway. So we get the explosion and we get the emotional thing of Kylo not shooting his mother.
I don't even think you see.
I so hate that.
The bridge.
This makes me
I
think you
he
do.
has a thumb over it.
You
but
do
sorry.
see the bridge, but this reminds me of episode 9 where she does in fact die and can somehow communicate that idea so far away to Kylo that he changes his entire personality and now he's good. But he never sensed that when she was going into a coma or whatever. Like, how does that? Did he know she was still alive even though the bridge was completely annihilated? Like, I don't understand how all that worked. So I don't know. It's just a mess.
At that point, I don't think anyone gave a fuck like how far can that force Skype call can reach. Like they can like teleport objects at that point.
Yeah, but that's between Rey and Kylo, not Kylo and
That's
everything
a whole
else.
other problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just carry on.
Jake the Surgeon, would green space milk make good cheese? I would guess.
Oh no.
I would guess so, because you're in space. So why not?
A blue milk cheese. Oh man.
The blue milk cheese? Ah, blue milk. Ooh.
It's actually making like blue cheese for you.
Blue? No, that's not. Blue cheese does not come from blue milk, guys. No. Don't get any ideas.
Major plot point. In The Last Jedi, Luke saves the day while Rey lifts some boulders. And in Rise of Skywalker, the Emperor returns. If they wanted to have their old characters in the new movies, they should have just made them the main characters, instead of their shadows looming large over the new characters.
Okay, that's interesting take. So when we think of a main character, let's say Mad Max, right? He's a main character status, but the story isn't really about him. He's just a vehicle for other characters or secondary characters, so they can shine in whatever show or whatever sequels or whatever movies they're in. So the idea of having Luke be the main character does make some sense. Focus in on his life. Why did he turn the way he did? Do elaborate backstories and flashbacks. They did some flashbacks that were stupid.
That were basically meaningless with how little information they gave.
They were lies and then half truths, and you're like, what is this? Like, why are you doing this? Why are we doing 30 questions and having multiple flashbacks of the same scene? That's dumb.
More interesting story would have been anyway that how Luke is building his temple and going through the struggles with that.
Why?
Instead of he already had it and it's gone and everyone's dead and blah.
Give us a reason why give us a reason why he is the way he is that makes sense. It's really simple, and there was so many ways to do it. He can't just be disgusted by, the Jedi are dumb. It's like, what? No, they're not dumb. They saved the galaxy. You were one of them. What happened? Oh, I couldn't stop my nephew. It's like, well, so try again.
You could stop Darth Vader. You probably can stop a child.
Yeah, well.
But no. You see, he had nightmares.
Have I mentioned before, like, someone's logic about accepting that line was like, oh, this man saved Vader, so if he looked into the dreams of his nephew and saw evil and wanted to kill him, those must have been some evil dreams. And I'm like, what some ass backward logic is that?
Message coming in.
Wait. Is he trying to say that Kylo is more evil than Darth Vader?
No way.
Genocide?
Must be worse than the Emperor.
Kylo couldn't even kill his mom.
Exactly.
Vader's like ready to kill Luke, like no problem. Okay.
Choked his own wife.
Maimed him easy.
He killed children because I don't know. I don't even know why he did that, but he did.
And the children too.
Yeah, that was before he got seduced, or whatever you want to call seduced by the dark side. He just killed a bunch of villagers because they were there. They were tangentially related to his mom who got killed, so therefore everyone must burn. Like, okay.
You know, if we went in this weird timeline where we have only incompetent people running Hollywood and this horrible ideology that makes everything even worse, we could have really cool Mara Jade movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Feminist, because people already like Mara Jade. She's a bit of a, like, what I can gather from her personality, she's a bit more spunky.
Oh yeah, higher.
But feminists don't like those characters.
They
don't like
it,
pretty competent characters.
If they want women in Star Wars, hire the guys who wrote those books. Say, hey, turn your book into a screenplay and just run with it. It would have been the simplest thing to do. Sign a check, done. Here, you direct that, and you cast these people, and buy some sets. We're done. Okay, good.
Yeah. I like using material from previous sources. So what was the onus to delete the expanded universe when it was
so we have an excuse to make up shit.
Yeah.
Make up SJW shit, but it was already it already fell along the lines of like their ideology with Mara Jade and.
Yeah, but it's
Oh,
not.
how about like
that's
just
not good
giving
enough.
Chris Avalon like a TV show?
Oh,
Yeah, but that's not right.
Chris,
the ideologues don't
truck
like
of money, go at it.
Yeah, but look, the ideologues don't like the competent, strong female characters, the well-written, strong female characters of the past, of the 80s, of video games, and all of that. They don't like those kind of characters because they are not. They have too much agency, if you will. They're not gods. They're not Mary Sue's. They are more realistic people with agency. Now tell me, what woman that has actual agency and is competent needs feminism?
A dumb one.
In
I guess
space.
They won't follow straw. Yeah, follow in lockstep, but fuck me.
Okay, let's keep going. Jake the Surgeon, cheese from chest milk when? Well, Jake, this is what you do. Get yourself a girl. There's two methods after that, but that's really up to you and her. And if she's that kind of person, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. So there you
go. Somebody clip that.
All right, let's go.
Is a lot of it just feels like fan service. The creators of Avatar.
For which fans?
For what fans? This was fan service in the way you take a fucking middle finger to a fan.
I mean,
I don't know how to phrase that. It's fan service to people who are fake fans, maybe.
Yeah, well, we don't know exactly what those are anymore in Star Wars. There's so many kinds.
We're gonna give you fan service. We're gonna turn Luke into a coward. Don't you love that, fans?
A fan service is more like The Mandalorian or some other like shit that like Rogue One. That was like just a fan service movie.
It was almost good fan service.
Yes, like the second half is like.
Yeah. It was completely unnecessary. It was completely dumb. Lots of the military setups made zero sense.
Yeah.
I can go on about that for half an hour, but that's not the topic here. And Korra, first season. They know they have at least one season funded. And they don't know what to do with their love triangle bullshit.
Oh,
they just fumble around and nothing happens, nothing makes sense, there are no consequences, and it just comes across like Korra is a borderline harlot.
No, it's a love square. Remember, not only does she kiss Mako when he's in a relationship and he like doesn't really want it, she's cheating on Bolin at the same time.
Yeah, Korra's a horrible person.
Bitch.
She's an absolutely disgusting, horrible person. There's nothing positive about her worthy of being the Avatar, much less any person with bending capability.
It would have been interesting.
She'd be a good villain.
She wasn't worthy of like her attitude and her actions made her unworthy of being the Avatar, and exploring that and then becoming a better person, because the Avatar is just kind of a person that's born.
It's the whole idea.
So it would be cool, but of course that means that they had to acknowledge her flaws, and they don't do that.
You can't do that with Mary Sue.
Like, Rey has actual flaws, and if only the narrative addressed them or recognized them for the flaws that they are, she could be a person. But since the narrative validates it, she's always right. Then they're not actually flaws, and she's just a blah. That's always right and gets to be a shitty person.
Yeah, because Rey is socially completely useless. She's socially awkward as hell. She could be an autist, and I thought that was the idea in the movie when I sat there the first time. Because the way she's depicted on Jakku, where she's sitting there with the helmet, and she's not talking much with people, and once Finn shows up, she's still really weird at talking with people, and she's this tech genius. I'll ignore the piloting stuff for now. But let's just go with. They could have just let her as being the tech genius. They don't need to give her piloting skills, but that's another story. But all this movie, then she's just going on her own weird adventures, but she's just trailing off randomly in random directions, and the other characters don't even know where she is. And yeah, that came across as maybe she's autistic, but it's an interesting setup. But the thing is, they didn't do that intentionally. That just happened because they didn't know how to write her.
Oops, accidentally wrote you autistically.
Yeah, the same way that in TLJ, Rose Tycho is written as if she has borderline personality disorder, the more severe type.
She's a psychopath. Pretty much.
That as well. Yeah, that as well.
Explain it in short terms.
I know borderliners who are like that, and Rose Tycho behaves like that not because she's written like a borderliner to be written like a borderliner. She is like that because every scene demands a different emotional stance from her and another random action in order to get the plot along and to have a scene happen and to have a joke happen, and that's why she's completely erratic and makes absolutely no sense and does all these random things.
Borderline personality and more like a very transparent puppet.
Yeah, it's almost indistinguishable. I don't know if you had to deal with more severe borderline people in real life, but she's not far off, really.
Really?
Okay.
There are people like that.
All right.
I assure you.
Let's keep going here. Jake the Surgeon. I, too, like watching something I liked being exploited like Chinese sweatshop works. Okay. Then set on fire while Disney ejaculates all over themselves. Okay. We all have our pastimes there, Jake.
Jake never disappoints.
Yeah, I know. Joe Crazy. Then somehow she ends up dating the girl she stole the boy from. How does that work? Oh,
She stole Sami.
that was her master plan. I guess. I don't know.
Because shipping and Tumblr, that's why.
Oh, really?
Even though they have no chemistry. Well, Asami's not even a person either.
Yeah, but Korra is just making out with everyone.
I'm laughing at Khan's comment, like the Virgin Ray Palpatine versus the Chad Ray Ayanami.
Which Ray?
Evangelion again.
No, which
I
Ray?
would almost say I would say Ayana Mide has more personality than Ray Palpatine.
Yes.
Yeah,
Way
it's
more.
funny, even though like she's just basically a body with the soul of God.
Yeah. She has no. Yeah, that's a joke. Ray has no personality, and Ray has. It's supposed to have none, and Ray actually has no personality. So sad.
My Demon Brian Canisco have never seemed interested in fan service. They just tell the story they want to tell. In doing so, they allow the
What kind of bullshit statement is that? They've never been interested in fan service? They do it all the time. Like, jokes are recycled all the time, and all these characters are flanderizations of their past characters. Oh my god, no, okay, no.
new characters who the story is actually about to flourish even more. Let characters
That dog. Can we
naturally
talk
shift.
about the dog?
Let me
The polar bear
Message
dog?
coming in.
Yeah,
Patching it
What
through.
about the polar bear dog? Oh, that she disappears?
that she abandons, that she completely forgets even exists, because the writers thought, oh, we need a magical bending pad for Korra as well. What can we do at the polar ice caps? How about some snow dog thing that she
Right.
rides like a horse? And then this thing can't swim, can't fly, obviously, because it's water type. And
Well,
but
okay, no, the reason they all have spiritual animals is it's their nature spiritual guide. It's connected to the avatar. Roku had one. Every avatar had one. They just forgot about it and decided it was too hard to implement it with this urban.
yeah, because it is land-bound. And it's too big to fit into anything.
Do they have a small?
Appa could just fly away and be somewhere and eat some grass. And then come back. This thing is land-bound.
I'd love an avatar spirit animal guide that was like small. Like a Momo. What if Momo was the avatar's pet?
Yeah.
That would be I don't know why they didn't think of making the pet smaller if this was going to be an urban bound story.
Yeah.
But
What would have made sense would be some swimming type at least. You have this big lake in the city. then you can get around
Message
between the
coming in.
continents on that. It
Patching
would have
through.
been at least something, and explained why you have it never on land. But this thing then just disappears. No one mentions it, and then in a later episode, the dog reappears, and Korra is super happy to see it and anything. And if I was that dog, I would be really fucking pissed because I think she left it in a desert or something.
Oh my god, I can't remember. But let's go.
Here's Jake the surgeon. Joke's on you. I disappoint women all the time. Got him. Okay, that's good.
Got him, Jake.
Thanks, Jake. Good to know. Jake again. Amon uses the energy bending stance like Aang. Oh, okay.
Appa uses what?
Amon.
No, Amon. But
Amon uses the energy. That's a whole thing, but the ERs explained it in his video.
he shouldn't know how to do that.
He should be actually energy bending, because that would have been mysterious. But then they should have explained why he knew it. But whatever.
To floor it and more. Let characters naturally ship.
No.
No.
That didn't happen in Korra.
There was nothing natural about that fucking ship. There was nothing.
Neither in Korra nor in TLJ.
I didn't have
No.
any good sexual chemistry with anyone. Well, sorry, romantic chemistry with anyone on the show. She boned everyone, but she didn't have an actual relationship with anyone.
I think she would have worked with someone like a same-age Boomy.
Basically, that's what she would have. She would have gotten with Boo. Oh.
So Boomy, her age and high energy, quirky, and making stupid jokes, pulling pranks on other people. I mean, she has a bit of a sadistic streak that works well. That would have worked. That could have chemistry. They could have gone on adventures and doing shit together.
Would it feel slightly incestuous if the reincarnated Avatar married the direct descendant of the last Avatar? That's a bit fucky.
I don't know how you come up with that.
So what I think he's trying to say in a more simpler way is he wants to have a romance that makes sense.
Yeah, but
But none of these shows does that.
And Korra can't get along with people.
Well, let's hear his explanation because I know what he's trying to say. So,
okay, let's see what he said.
Let me first admit, Korra fumbled a bit on the relationship building in the
A bit.
first 2 seasons. But as the story went on, the creators let characters breathe a little and start to naturally form relationships. Instead of Korra being in a bad romantic relationship with Mako, they instead went on to have a great friendship. Instead of having a bitter rivalry with Asami, Korra...
Oh, the thing with Marcos always seemed like he was always a little sore about it. Like he always had this vibe of, I can't really trust Korra. She's strange. I don't know if that's just because of his character design, but he always gave off that vibe as if he had a feeling of this girl is something's wrong with her.
I think the writers could not fathom a man not being at least somewhat perturbed that he turned both his girlfriends gay.
And the Asami thing is not a natural development to a romantic relationship. Absolutely not. There's no foreshadowing of it. It's just this decision at the end. Oh, let's hold hands. And you don't even need to interpret this as the big gay. You can just interpret this as friends going into a magical portal that they are not sure of where it even leads.
So it doesn't even develop into anything?
Yeah, well, this is the most sexual tension you see between it. They don't even say it on screen.
So they did this to appease and imply this to the shipper fans. But if we look at it in a completely neutral way, you don't need to interpret this as a gay moment. You can just interpret this as friends going on an adventure that they don't know where to go. If you go through a magical portal that you don't know where it leads, will you try to hold your friend's hand, or will you just go alone and be lost in time and space?
Okay, well, to be fair, I would not walk into a portal holding hands with my female friends and then turn and gaze longingly into each other's eyes. That is not something
it's a bit of a point. Yeah, I can give you that.
Well, there's the argument to be made that you give the audience what it wants, but it depends on the genre of the thing you're making and whether or not your audience deserves that to change genres or to just do stupid shit for people that are dumb. So why would you suddenly turn this into a gay romance? Is it set up properly? Is it expressed properly? Does it make sense?
No, this is basically the prototype to Ruby.
Oh,
yeah, this is the prototype to Ruby and what's it called? Steven Universe. It's not shipping genre. It's writing good characters.
What would have been
there's not gay characters.
I'm just trying to explain it because she took away his or her boyfriend, and now she's attracted to her. It's like, wouldn't she be a little angry? Like,
this moment is like several years in the future when she was broken up and Korra broke up with Mako, and they have all been platonic for a couple of years. You'd think she'd stop being her friend after being shitty in the first season, but
Korra is really horrible to have as an ex, because imagine you have this little friend circle. Maybe it's growing. It's and it got a bit bigger because of this shitty person, and then it just turns out that the shitty person is fucking with one of your friends in the friend circle after the other while breaking relationships.
Breaking up brothers, like, damn.
Yeah, to get and poisoning their friendships. She drove a wedge between Mako and what was his name? Bolin? And yeah, that's horrible. And then she does the same with Mako and Asami. Just to get to her in the end. So it's not planned that she gets to her at that point. But it's the outcome in the end, and that just looks so horrible. Like she's a homewrecker isn't accurate, but it's in that general direction.
All right, so here's Jake the Surgeon. Asami should despise Korra, so this is what we sort of glean from understanding this, not rivalry, but relationship. Why does she like her? She just does. That's what happens. It just...
I don't know. Except for the muscle-bound Korra really gets the lesbians hot. If my friends or anything. But, I mean, she's a cunt.
Actually, I have like a question like for you too, because like you know more about Korra. Does Korra like get any consequences for doing this with the ex-boyfriend?
Doing what?
Like dating this girl.
Dating this girl? Not in the show, because this is the last scene of the show. They have books that go after, and even ER goes over them, and that's the only way I know. And no, there are no consequences.
Because I could imagine like something like what TNG had with Picard when he got like a second chance, and he started like he broke up with his friends, I think, and like started to like date one of the girls from the academy, and then like he gets like an instant consequence for that action.
This action will have consequences up in the corner when he did it.
Yeah.
What a great episode of Star Trek. Oh, here's Ron Harushan. Thank you, sir, for the 20. Why couldn't we get the story of an Avatar born as a terrible person who did horrible things or tried to take over the world, but either by the end either finds redemption or we see the rise of heroes to stop them? Well, now that would be curious, because then you're taking the hero role or the protagonist role and turning them into a villain and telling the story of others who are trying to stop them. There's lots of ways you can go with that. You have the anti-hero role. You have the anti-villain, if you want to call it that, who rises up, and we see the gray morality of how that switches between the two. So there's lots of ways to play that off. That might be a bit too complicated for fans.
Korra has the perfect setup for that. with a botched upbringing, it's the perfect setup for exactly this. And the moral of the story could be at the end that the White Lotus realizes, oh, we fucked up. This is all our fault because we meddled with the natural process of what the Avatar should go through in life. That's why we got this anti-Avatar now. And we are really fucked because this is the most powerful being that exists on this planet.
But I thought you wanted Dark Vatu giant Godzilla evil spirit.
Carpet battle? The carpet battle?
Yeah, the battle at the end of season 2.
Oh god. It was interesting as long as I didn't realize, wait, that rewrites the whole mythology of the fucking show that Aang explained.
Oh, with the Rava and Vatu bullshit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That I didn't like that either.
Yeah, it's a rewrite of the whole creation myth, if you will. The original in The Last Airbender, the Avatar is simply the manifestation of the spirit of the world in some way that becomes manifest as a human being in order to, this whole universe watching itself, experiencing life itself, and so on. And in Korra, it is rewritten into some douchebag thief guy gets a weird redemption arc where he gains the magical power bestowed upon him by the 4 lion turtles with cities on their backs, and that's how he becomes the Avatar.
Whoa.
The first one.
He had some grade A bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a completely different from what the Avatar is.
So to bring it back to Star Wars, I presume, it would have been nice to see the focus of Luke and how he became a recluse. Not necessarily an anti-hero, although technically I guess that's what he becomes because he doesn't do anything. But if you're going to set him up that way, you got to actually build it up properly. You have to break him down and build him back up as whatever. So that could work too.
And the rewrite in Korra was also a very mediocre Studio Ghibli ripoff.
Oh, that bad, huh? Studio Ghibli. Oh my god.
Well, so they changed the mythos of the spirits in Korra from the spirits were kind of represented by animals and connected to specific things. Like the panda spirit was the spirit of a certain forest, and it was connected to the actual realm. While in Korra, it was just kind of Studio Ghibli, some cute little blobs with faces on them that kind of wander around that you would see in like Spirited Away, just odd things that didn't have any meaning. And so that's what it means, like it's a Studio Ghibli ripoff.
Yeah, and also because of it was not very well animated.
Yeah, it was not very well animated. Studio Ghibli, those spirits in Spirited Away were all based in folklore and or kind of existed previously. They weren't just blobs. But anyway.
Alrighty.
Korra and her, they had a beautiful bond that led to a romantic relationship. The Star Wars sequel trilogy, on the other hand, got this half right. Finn and Rey relationship seemed a bit forced.
I don't even know what the other half is.
This could have been something.
It's a friendship.
And if you wanted to do all this super progressive stuff with your tokenism, yeah, you could have had the white girl and the black guy be together. If you're so race obsessed with that, but you don't even do that.
You can't do that because you have to show this movie in China. So
yeah, they hated it anyway because there was a black guy in the first place and the kids with a Vietnamese girl, which I also hate.
Yes.
Disney wants to pander to China so hard, and they don't even know what not to do.
Because they are racist themselves.
So racist.
Just like look at an Asian or black person and they say like, "Oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna represent everyone." No,
Disney is so racist and botches it in every way possible by not even considering the racism of other cultures.
Oh god, like my favorite was like the shit that we covered, like that comic book or like that Chinese comic book that is gonna come out by co-created by Disney and the Chinese literature, whatever.
Oh god.
And like one of the authors is like called His Majesty the King.
Oh no!
Can't fucking wait for that.
It's, for a company that is so wonderfully capitalist and just wants to make a ton of money, their research team really sucks in order to map out what other cultures
years
need.
now.
How can you fuck this up? If it's
Like,
all about making money,
I don't know like
pandering
how
to
the
others, how can you
shareholder
fuck this
meetings
up?
can even go like this.
Oh, maybe. Hey, shareholders, do you want to make money? Let us do what we know. Stop messing with us.
Actually, never mind.
Get it? And RingKylo conclusion seemed a bit abrupt and honestly kind of awkward, but there was at least some chemistry there. But there,
What?
Well, no.
They want to kill each other.
Can she ever close him out?
You are
Adam Driver
seeing
did
things.
his best. He fucking stole it. Daisy Ridley didn't do anything. Adam Driver looked like he was spilling his fucking heart out when he was like trying to beg towards the dark side. He was selling that, and that was the thing that really kicked off the Raylo.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, I think it's silly he took off the mask, but he put acting up as much as he could. It was something to watch.
He
But
did his best.
These people only see romance here because it's a male and a female character on the screen. They're roughly the same age and equally main characters. So they must be in love with each other, right?
Well,
Right.
I do remember this is the sexiest scene in all of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, they fucking touch hands.
No, the elevator right here.
Oh, no, this.
It's elevating the
Oh yeah,
feelings.
any second it's gonna turn to 50 Shades, where he.
And the next scene, it's the most sensual because it's in a womb.
This one,
The elevator
elevator scene, is it, and not the fucking forced sex with the hands. That's what it was. It was forced sex.
Smud is making reference to the greatest video essayist ever.
I'm doing two references: the Goldman and to Miss Hero's Journey. Oh God.
There's so many
heroine's journey.
essayists ever, and I'm like, they are all like this.
Every
You're
room a
heroin.
womb. Yeah.
Bagel theory.
Just
God.
right.
there's one
elevator's an
relationship
egg.
that was full of chemistry and wouldn't have seemed forced or abrupt, and that, of course, is between Finn and Poe Dameron.
Shut the fuck up!
I mean, geez, they seem so
Look,
Wha-
no, okay.
Why is he
You
using
guys
it?
are hugging. They must be gay.
Okay. The only thing that does the relationship is for some fucking reason, Poe, like, in this scene on screen right now, like, bit his fucking lip and looked him up and down. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but they never had sexual chemistry. It was always
The actor of Poe wanted to get into the Boyega's pants.
What?
Wait, is that a real thing?
As far as I've noticed,
coming in.
the stories and
Patching it
interviews,
through.
that's what I remember of it.
Really?
I can't give you links anymore, but it's just that explains some things.
I think the video like has some sources on there, but yeah.
I mean, they have great chemistry together in general.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe Disney steered it away as much as they could.
Yeah, but
And
even if they were like kissing or whatever, be like, what the hell is this? Why did you even include this? There's no reason to do that. It's not a story about them. They are side characters.
Yeah. Well, Finn should have been the main character, but
Yeah, you could have sent these two on the adventure. You wouldn't even have needed the old characters.
oh yeah, I got the
because-
fuck
because,
out of that.
Imagine a better movie.
Yeah, and because Poe is a very energetic Han Solo type.
Oh yeah,
He's
very
roguish.
good.
He's roguish. He quips jokes.
Very
Finn is a jolly guy, jolly and disturbed. That's an interesting mix.
Let's divide them in the next movie so they can't really interact with each other.
Yeah.
Like that was like the craziest stunt in like TLJ that like like pretty much like Empire Strikes Back has like the same structure that like Luke, Leia, and Han starts off at the same point and only like sorta reconnects at the end of the movie. Like, but TLJ does it like for the entirety of the movie. Rey and everyone else other than Luke doesn't interact with each other, and that's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Because even Leia is out for the count for so long.
Yeah.
And the only way to facilitate that is by introducing new characters that are horrible, dumb, and pointless.
Fuck Rose, I hate Rose so much.
Rose and Holdo, they're responsible for the split ups.
And
Like when Red Letter Media said like I liked Rose until like she said the stupidest thing ever at the end. I was like, what? Like you like the rest
It
of
took
the
you
scenes
until-
with her?
right?
You liked her in her first scene where she's simping for Finn, and then you still liked her when she randomly decided to zap him and abduct him.
What? Like first scene, like she shows up, like she was like, "What? This is crazy!" Like no,
Rebellion.
like
Sorry.
I
No,
thought she
go ahead,
was
go ahead.
some 5-second side character that would be forgotten for the rest of the movie, and then she's a fucking main.
I just recall I was still in high school when the movie came out, and I like to fight with my art teacher, and he's like, I love Rose because she doesn't feel like a Star Wars character. In a Star Wars movie? That's a good thing?
Like that was like something that Ryan was saying that like, well, like Rose doesn't really belong in Star Wars. Like I just
Yeah,
like
she
thought
belongs
about like
to an
something that I
asylum.
could get along with in high school.
Is that a quote from Ryan?
Yeah, that's what's Ryan like. Ryan was like thinking of a character that doesn't belong in this universe, and Rose was the answer. And like she was specifically designed that like she would be someone who he could like get along with in high school.
Yeah, Star Wars
Wow.
is cheesy and a little over the top and a little bit archetypal and larger than life. So
Yeah.
Wait,
why?
you said Ryan Johnson wrote Rose in a way that he
Intentional.
could get along with her in high school.
Yeah, it's in the documentary and the commentary. Like
He wanted
after
and
this, I can like get you like
You could find
sample of that.
so
he
easy.
wanted a borderline insane, emotionally unstable, mad girl. What? I mean that just supports my hypothesis that he's a psychopath.
There's something emotionally wrong with this boy. Like, oh god. Oh god.
The
Oh,
beady eyes with
your
that
smoke
grin.
theory sucks. That ain't a good look, Rianne.
Brian.
Here's Joe Crazy. She saw him shirtless. Clearly, there's chemistry. That was the
Yeah.
that was the second scene, I think, when they had the three shots where they communicate, and it's just like you still hate him, you still want to kill him. Can you please take your can you please put a shirt on or something? It's like what is wrong with you?
Right? With some fucking fanfics bullshit line.
Like you hate the guy. Can you please put a shirt on? Okay, I can't talk to you like this. Like what?
Does it hurt?
Why are you watching me as I'm on the toilet?
We need to do it for the diet.
That's what it looked like to me. And how does what dark force power is this that pumps up Kylo's chest and later deflates it again?
Oh,
It's called CGI. That's the power.
it's a wide angle
I don't
lens.
know.
That
I don't know
sounds
why
like a
they
Sith
use
power.
CGI on him because like he
I
looks
don't
like
get it.
ripped already.
He didn't. Yeah, that didn't make him look ripped. It just made him look like a barrel.
He went through like marine training, and then they tell him to like, oh, like we must go further.
Remember when he is getting the scar stitched up, then he stops, and then for the rest of the rest of the two other movies, he never fixes his scar.
Yeah, right.
It's like no, it's cool.
Message
It's cool
coming
like
in.
this. Okay,
Patching it through.
it's badass.
Yeah, that's why I can look cool without the mask.
Continuity, my dude. Oh my god. I did.
Or maybe the force a phone call bends the light in a way
Yeah,
that distorts
maybe.
the
I don't know.
looks.
It's
Yeah, that's
Maybe-
there's no consistency in
projecting
anything.
her
there.
fantasies onto him, and so they can like impose different images on the others. So she's dreaming up a hunkier Kylo.
very strange conflict that you hate the guy you want to kill, and you're also sexually attracted to him. It's like what is like? Do you have your
Okay, hold on.
And
No,
she's always just staring. He's acting and she's staring.
it's not completely out of the realm of things where woman will actually hate a man and
He
still be
killed
sexually-
her father figure.
You could, yeah, I mean, you can give her the taming the beast archetype or archetypal woman story.
Yeah, but she doesn't
Although-
tame.
You can put that in there. But
She
I mean,
doesn't-
There are women who are attracted to really asshole idiots
Yeah, but she doesn't tame him.
and
She
keep returning
kills
to
him.
them.
Yeah, she doesn't. That's true. She gets super peeved.
She doesn't lop his arm off. She kills him, and then it's like, oh my god, I gotta run away now. It's like, wait, why?
Mm-hmm. I
Well,
would have
it's because
taken.
Ray friend.
That's fair.
This
Okay,
is-
the point he did kill her father figure and parental figures in her life is really, really important. Makes sense, but also like, what she spent 2 days with Han. This wasn't like Joel.
Yeah, but isn't that also just? Oh no. There is a time difference between TLJ and Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Unlike to TLJ, where nothing happens.
She trains, quote unquote.
Yeah, that's great.
No. Oh, you could have done such interesting things with that. Yeah. The moment when TLJ began and Luke threw away his lightsaber, I thought, oh, they're doing the hard to get master trope, where he's playing grumpy and the student has to really prove that he's worth it to be trained by this old guy. And although she already found him, she already managed part of the challenge. But I thought it would go that way,
Right.
and then it didn't.
And then it didn't.
Here is
You could have done something with that scene, no?
here is Jake the Surgeon again. My friend called Rose Short Round. I then locked him in the Mobius Continuum because insulting Short Round like that is unforgivable. What the?
How could your friend do that to him? Not Short Round. Not my boy Short Round. That's
Huh.
you know what Short Round is, right?
No.
Oh, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. He's a little Asian kid.
Oh, that one. Okay.
For some
Damn,
reason, I was
I
thinking
know.
of the Goonies, but you know.
No, Indiana Jones. He's like Dr. Jones. Helps him throughout the whole little adventure. I like him.
Oh, I didn't know what it
It's
was
just
called
a
in
little-
English.
Oh, you didn't know his name in English?
Yeah, I only watched them in German.
Yeah,
The
fair,
dubs were really good at the time when those were made,
Oh, yeah.
and I haven't watched them since.
Temple of Doom is a fun movie.
It's really scary as a kid.
Yeah.
I think it's more scary than any of the other movies.
Kalima!
It's really good, and it has this awesome goofy humor, but doesn't break the immersion at the same time somehow. So really well rounded.
With Will, they're eating like monkey brains, and she like faints.
Lots of good stuff.
George Lucas was co-directing that movie or writing it during like his first divorce. So he was angry. And,
Good.
Like, was in a dark place.
Good, do that more often.
That was like fully
Move
out
the
of
dark
control in the
side,
fourth movie.
George.
Yeah, but the sad thing is that a lot of really good art comes out of really tragic pain.
Yeah.
So if anything really horrible happens in your life, make art out of it. It might just stick with the world.
We'll consider it.
Yeah, I mean,
Close
otherwise
enough.
it's wasted.
Skywalker, that I just assumed they were together. Like, they are just right on top of each other.
Oh,
Like,
fuck off.
I never stand that close to other people.
Fuck off!
Isn't Ford
I'm sorry you don't have friends.
I
my
don't
dude.
touch people. I never get that close to other humans. That's just, too romantic. Like, what?
I have the hedgehog dilemma.
Yeah, I can't touch my dad. No, it's too gay. He's too close, Dad.
Wow. How could you do that to your father? Hug him?
I'm autistic, and
What are you
lots of touchy stuff is just pain for me. But I still give hugs with the right people. because with the right people, for some reason, there's not this painful tension or whatever. So what's wrong with you? If even I can do that.
Looking enough to have one of their main characters in the same sex relationship in a movie. Which is honestly absurd that a Y7 kids show on Nickelodeon is brave enough to show a main character be in a gay relationship in 2014.
They're not braver. Disney just wants Chinese money. That's it.
Yep.
Well, I guess maybe that does make them braver, but I don't think Nickelodeon ever had to get Chinese money.
No, I'm because already like Aang's like design is like kind of like referencing like someone from Tibet. So
yeah,
that is like something that the Chinese is not going to say okay to.
He's standing up to the Earth Queen in the Earth Kingdom, which is China.
Yep.
Not good.
While Disney sits on their hands and tease gay relationships in a PG-13 franchise in the year 2019.
Oh fuck!
Consistent narrative.
You gotta be kidding me. No.
Or consistent.
Are you giving it a 0?
Yeah. Which season though? Which season of Legend of Korra is he referring to though?
All of it?
No. That's no.
None of it is consistent.
Not even their own fucking seasons, like internally, are consistent.
Yeah.
The Amon thing goes off the fucking rails with the blood bending. Unalak, where it has the cool Civil War theme, and then she gets amnesia, and it goes off the rails with the good and evil spirit and fucking kaiju battles in the middle of Republic City. The third one just doesn't make sense in general with the Red Lotus and the anarchists that are just going around and killing world leaders. It's kind of batty in the first place with and also having random earthbenders airbenders pop into existence because of some bullshit from season 2. And then the last one ends with a fucking mech battle. What the fuck?
What?
No,
yes. It's really badly animated on top.
It's badly 3D animated mech machine controlled by metal bending that uses a cannon out of the vines growing through the spirit portal to make spirit lasers. I'm not kidding. And the way
what the fuck? This is real. What?
The way Korra defeats the giant mech robot is that she spirit energy bends the spirit laser and creates a brand new portal to the spirit world in the middle of a densely populated city. Takes out a couple of city blocks with it, and decides to just leave it there in the middle of the fucking city.
And have the spirits all be everywhere now, and humans just have to deal with it.
I'm the Avatar, and you gotta deal with these aggressive spirits invading your homes. They also can go through walls, so there's no way to keep them out.
Is that a metaphor for something?
Only if you want it to, baby.
No, I meant something else.
Oh my god!
It's just horror is everything about us horrible.
I am being 100% serious about this fucking mech.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's Joe Crazy.
But Varric had a good plot. I think he was the only character who even had an arc.
The what? I'm sorry.
I think his name was Varric, the inventor guy.
Oh yeah, Varric.
Yeah, I think he had an arc. He had an actual arc. He had a hero arc.
He did have a hero arc. He cut to Julie. I'm sorry, but.
No, they had to say that he never realized she wanted something from him, and in the beginning he was just a selfish, goofy guy, and in the end he developed a moral code, ethics, and did some heroic things.
Yes, he did do that. I will say he did have a hero arc where he found his inventions were too immoral, and so he tried to destroy them against the direct threat of Kuvira. I think Kuvira holds him out of a train, and he still decides to do the heroic thing. It just sort of scared me at the end when his assistant, he was bossing her around like normal, and she's kind of submissive and quiet. And then she, very out of character, was like, "No, actually, you're going to propose to me because I love you." It was just like a 180.
No, she's Julie had. She was always bossy, but she always did what Varric told her. But she was bossy to everyone else, and that was just the time that where she had enough and turned that onto him.
I guess I can't really recall her interacting with anyone else.
They didn't much. She didn't. She didn't have much of a role. She was just this side character that did the thing.
All right,
which was his joke line.
Here is Joe Crazy. When will Disney ruin Indiana Jones? I think they already did. Indiana Joanne when? No.
Oh no!
No. I think they ruined it with the
Isn't that
Kingdom,
the next one?
The Kingdom with the Crystal Skull. That was the last straw, I think, for a lot of people. So
isn't the next one the passing the torch to a girl thing?
There's rumors about it. That's all I know.
God fucking.
Like apparently, like Harrison Ford is already listed, so it will happen. Strangely enough, he's like okay with like Indiana Jones shit, like even though it's like total crap since the fourth one.
Yeah.
You just sit in a wheelchair and just sit there and say a few lines and that's it.
If they do an homage to his father, that'd be cool. But other than that, I don't really care.
Yeah. Sean Connery.
Yeah. I mean, it could work. A reboot could work, but I don't know. Don't make him the main character.
Who could play Indy? Like really, like because Harrison Ford is just like the Indiana Jones, like kind of like with Han Solo. You can't like recast those guys.
You need like an assistant or someone else that could take over the reins, or is it something that would be back to the original, not like what we saw at the Crystal Skull. So. that was just. I don't know what that was.
What's your problem with Just Do It guy?
The guy from Transformers? Yeah, I don't know why. Why would I ever want him in a movie?
Screaming with the monkeys, hanging for spines.
He's a fencer.
A unique Indiana Jones type because he's fucking crazy. And just some of the off-the-wall shit that he would agree to do. He'd have to have a good writer to do the off-the-wall shit. I mean, at that point, might as well make your own IP where you have some treasure hunt that's fucking crazy. And I'd watch the fuck out of that, you know.
Here is Jake the Surgeon. Again, thank you, sir. I'm with ER. I'm thinking the ship baiting was a way to try and salvage the tanking ratings? Really?
Yeah, that's a theory about it. So a lot of people kept watching the show for the potential of this. The Korrasami thing was one of the first TV gay relationships in animation, quote unquote. Not really. But they wanted the ship to happen so much that they kind of put little breadcrumbs in to keep people watching because the ratings were really bad. But the ratings were bad. Well, it was bad. The show was poor quality, and the ratings reflected that. But also, Nickelodeon intended to put them in undesirable slots to be watched, and then almost completely took it off air, so you had to watch it online. So the show was sabotaged. So the theory is that they baited this gay relationship that they knew the fans wanted in order to keep the show going, despite Nickelodeon.
Oh,
so that's
boy.
what that is.
Okay. That's a strange, scary theory. We don't know what to do next. Good characters, good story. No. We'll just have some romance stuff.
Yeah,
that's not even well written.
Just get the girls to kiss. Well, hold hands.
All
Let's
right.
hear him about the consistent narrative.
All right. Let's keep going.
And this is an issue that Korra had that Star Wars Secret Trilogy could have learned from. Legend of Korra kind of suffered from an inconsistent narrative. And that's because, well, at first they only had one season, then they kind of got another one, and then they were finally greenlit for 2. And that's when the story, I felt like, really started to feel cohesive, and the characters really started moving in really good directions. And especially in season 2 of Legend of Korra, it seemed like some characters regressed in their character development and stories because there wasn't that consistent narrative. In the Star Wars sequel trilogy, it just filled with this. I mean, you have huge plot details and story aspects that just change from movie to movie. Some things being retconned just seconds into the next movie. It just all feel a bit sloppy.
Okay, so he's admitting that both of them suck, just Korra sucks less.
Yeah.
Why have an example that is already like so flawed to be like the para?
It's like looking at a car. See this car? It has wheels shaped like octagons. That's bad. But this car over there has wheels shaped like hexagons. That's even worse. So they should make octagons. It's like, what? No.
I would have gone with the food analogy, like some spoiled food that has been there for like 2 days versus one that has been there for 3 days.
Ooh.
Yeah, you should really only have spoiled food that's there for 2 days. Learn from it. The 3-day-old food should learn from now. Yeah. Well.
So whenever you're trying to argue for the point, don't prove that the thing that's supposed to be good is actually bad. Okay.
Yeah, and if you can't write a consistent story in the first place, then don't care about trying to make some closed story within a season. Just write it. Just simply write. Make it look good, and if you don't get a renewed season and your story's hanging in the air, then that's just the way it is. At least maybe the writing is more consistent.
Just do contained episodes. Just be episodic. Don't try to like make a long narrative if you're so incapable of fucking writing.
Yeah.
I think I saw some quote today, like a tweet from a writer, where it was like, a consistency in narrative and like adherence to canon that fans have is like unrealistic. You know, narrative coherence is like a nice thing, but if something gets in the way, then it's just ignored. And that's just how it works.
Never work on any show then.
I know. I think this guy was a professional. I don't know what industry he was in, but I wanted to rip his head off.
Because they have a different actor, but it would have just been so much better if there were just one direct narrative. Change the look and feel.
I'm not sure what he means by that. One direct narrative? What is that?
He doesn't know he's saying direct. He's just babbling.
I know what he's trying to say, like one singular plot that connects everything. That would have probably made more sense with less retcons and less subplots and subplots that maybe connect to the main plot or whatever episode 9 was. I don't even know. So that would make more sense. But I don't think he's wording it right.
Yeah, bro, you need to work on your script or...
Well, no, just learn the terms. Learn the terms, use them properly. That's all I ask for people when they talk about scripts and writing.
And please, this counts for everyone. If you record your audio line, don't lean back and slouch in your seat with the microphone 2 meters away. Sit upright, close to the microphone, not too close. Sit upright, breathe, speak clearly, and don't do what he's doing because it's really hard to follow.
So this next point,
and also write sentences that have a sentence structure.
Maybe the guy is really tall and like he needs to like bend down so much.
So
it's then you can buy on his back.
Buy a stand that you can mount the microphone on.
Yeah, in this case, this is a strange reason for why whatever Star Wars movies, like the look and feel of it, like what?
Yeah, what does that even mean? Let him try to explain this.
He objectively doesn't like the aesthetics.
Kylo Ren doesn't look like a villain? Like, really?
Really? Like, they do a pretty good visual job of it, whether or not the writing stands up.
Like, Snoke is a good guy? Like, what do you get when you look at Snoke? Just bad, good, what? Skeleton? What?
Maybe, like, the problem is that, like, it's the same shit like what Vader was from the previous
Oh, okay, that's funny.
Kylo Ren is pretty much just a fanboy anyway.
Wasn't that the point, though? of Kylo? To him to be a fanboy of Darth Vader, to be
that's what the whole point of
Yeah.
the entire character.
Yeah, and it would have been a fun premise if they like kept going with it and they called him out for it, like it looked like they were gonna do.
Hey! You know what? Like Kylo Ren is fetishizing Darth
Message
Vader.
coming
That's
in.
it.
And yeah, it was kind of seen as a negative thing. You were supposed to think poorly of Kylo for doing that, so you can't really like count it against him. But then Ryan never went anywhere with it. Like, maybe he could have gone a path where he fetishized Darth Vader, but then he comes to realize real. I mean, well, not fetishize, but
I just like did that as reference. But yeah, like Ryan entirely like forgot like all those like points from the J.J. Abrams movies, because like the entire shit about that Kylo like meditates with the Darth Vader burned mask thing that was in Force Awakens, and then it disappears in Last Jedi and reappears in Rise of Skywalker. That was like, it feels like Rise of Skywalker is just a continuation of Force Awakens, and like the Last Jedi is just a fever dream of something. Like, because some of the characters, like there's like the fed rebel pilot. Like he appears in Force Awakens, disappears in Last Jedi entirely, and then reappears in Rise of Skywalker. Like, what the hell?
Honestly, like the way The Last Jedi is a fever dream and is so desperately wants to be a standalone film makes me angry, because why did they let Ryan do that?
You were supposed to write a trilogy.
You were supposed to write a sequel, and then you would get your standalone. Ryan, you fuckwit.
But you will get his trilogy, don't worry.
You
just couldn't wait.
I don't know. I have to sit and think about why it gets me so mad. But it's like mad for the people who had done the work already, and for everyone
on everyone's table.
Sorry,
no, okay, go on.
Something about him wanting to being like, I'm gonna sit down in the middle of this and I'm going to fucking derail it, and he intentionally wanted to derail it. Like all of his statements, his like, your Snoke theory sucks.
Yeah.
To just shit on all these people hard work, all these passionate people, and just how many other people in the world want to make a Star Wars film. Talk all you want about JJ being a shit mystery box writer. He loves Star Wars. And you can feel the reverence in The Force Awakens for Star Wars. It's just not told very well. And it kind of jerks off Star Wars a little too much. That's the biggest criticism of The Force Awakens. It jerks off Star Wars too hard. When The Last Jedi is just...
Really?
It's just...
It's the first time I heard that.
Well, okay. Not putting those words exactly. I'm being funny. But it copies A New Hope.
Yes.
And just how dismissive and how smarmy The Last Jedi is makes me furious. Like, fuck you, Ryan.
Other villains. In the original Star Wars trilogy, the two antagonists were Darth Vader, a black-cloaked, heavy-breathing Sith with a redemption arc, and Emperor Palpatine, a withering old man in a robe who tempts people into the dark side. While in the sequel...
Hold on. Oh, that's a very dismissive and reductive way to put these two.
Well, first off, Darth Vader doesn't have a redemptive arc. He has a redemptive moment. It doesn't build up to anything.
Yeah, right. This ain't Zuko, my dude.
He's like evil.
Very slight hints that like he's starting to like
Message
see
coming in.
trolls, like what Luke is trying to like get through him, but like he just gives up for like the most of the Return of the Jedi. Like, but yeah,
you can if you rewatch these movies, there is a lot of room where you can make the wildest interpretations of, is Vader trying to get Luke on his side to overthrow the Emperor? Will he really stay a Sith afterwards? It's not really clear. The thing is that both want to be rid of Palpatine.
Yes, but I feel like
they're not getting on the same page of how.
I just feel like by the end of The Empire Strikes Back, like Vader is like so like has like a reaction to Luke that like he just defied him and like rather just died instead of just joining him. That like he has changed somewhat because the thing that was like going in Empire Strikes Back like repeatedly is that like if a higher officer fails Vader, then like he just instantly kills the officer, and that like didn't happen with I think Admiral Piet was his name. Like he just like walked past him because like he was like so deeply fucked over by the fact that like his son just like said no to him. And like that was like the beginning of like the thing that like happens in the next movies that like he is like overly obsessed with Luke, that he just wants him to be on his side.
Yeah, I also see it from Vader's perspective that look, in the case of me joining you, light side stuff, then I'm out of the Empire and I'm not gonna get close to Palpatine again. We would have to fight through all of that shit. Yeah. If you join me, we can just walk up to him. But he can't reveal anything. If he had thoughts like that, that is. Vader couldn't reveal that.
Probably
because then it would be out. This is a secret you need to play through and hope that Luke picks up on it by himself. And that is the positive interpretation of what might be going on. Whatever Vader's actual intentions were, and whatever Lucas envisioned that Vader's thoughts were in those scenes.
Yeah, but it is essentially just a moment because like it only like comes like very clear at the end when the Emperor is just torturing Luke, and then it just decides to like throw him in the mine shaft.
That's the only thing we can be sure about, really.
Here is Jake the Surgeon. Thanks again. You're not my real parent, Wisp. I'll record how I want. I didn't ask to be adopted. Oh my god. Well, okay, Jake, you record on whatever mic you got. That's fine. Oh, boy. Strawman. What a great name. Strawman. No, he just wanted the villains in thite black leather. I think that means thighs with thite black leather. See, he has a good point. Oh, he does? Okay. I want to put him in thite black leather. Okay, great. That's a great rule.
I love that the video here has the Rise of Skywalker poster with the dumb toy they used for Palpatine in the background.
Yes. $1 million poster right there.
It looks like a bad cartoon.
Mm-hmm. It looks like something for Rebels.
Yeah.
The posters?
Yeah,
I think Rebels look better.
You couldn't use the actual actor they've hired in all makeup to do a composite, like a composite of the poster foreground and the background of his face. No. Get a toy, trace it, okay, scan it in, and put it in the background. Yeah.
Oh God.
Wait, of the what?
The Rise of Skywalker poster is pretty much a toy Palpatine in the background. If you look very closely on the right,
they did a comparison of when a poster first came out. They found a figurine and they looked at the zoom in of the figurine and they compared it to the face of Palpatine, and it was identical.
Yeah, I found a picture. I'm gonna share it in the chat.
So. Well, my poor ADHD brain zoned out a little bit because I'm looking at all these posters and I have such a long range.
There you go.
Oh my god, it is! Wow. But I have so many issues with all of these posters and the whole trend of slapping every single fucking speaking character on the front poster. The Last Jedi is the least offending of these, but that's
hey, it's a point for The Last Jedi.
Huh?
That's a point for The Last Jedi.
That is the only point The Last Jedi gets, is that they have a harmonious movie poster. The worst offending is The Force Awakens. I want to scream every time I look at The Force Awakens.
I like how in The Force Awakens they downplay Finn. Like right now you see him, he has his lightsaber there. In the Chinese release of the poster, Finn is like
minimized.
He's like really, really tiny. I don't know why.
Maybe the Chinese figured out that like he has such a small role.
That's why. They're goddamn racists.
The Han Chinese think they're the master race, just like certain types of Germans once fought.
Yeah, no, they literally had signs on McDonald's saying, I think it was like black people not allowed. Like, you're not
Yes.
allowed inside. Straight up.
So you can't really tell, but on the screen, on the right-hand side, you have Finn, who's got, that's the normal North American one, I guess. And on the left-hand side, it's like, where is Finn? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. He's like 3 times smaller right next to BB-8. Just zoom in there. There he is. So he's much, much tinier. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Sequel trilogy, the 2 main antagonists is Kylo Ren, a black-cloaked, heavy-breathing Sith with a redemption arc, and Emperor Palpatine, or Snoke, a withering old man in a robe who tempts people into the dark side. Legend of Korra switched up the look and feel of all the antagonists from Avatar. For instance, Amon was vastly different from Ozai, but he still felt like just as big of a threat. Also, it would have helped.
This is a strange argument. Yes, we get Episode 7 was a copy. We get it. So was 8. So was, well, arguably somewhat, but that was JJ's technique. I'm not saying it's a good technique. In fact, I think it's rather stupid, but that's what he did, and some liked it, some did not, obviously did not like it very much. So if that's your argument, fine. But to compare it to Korra, to compare it to Korra is like, yeah, sure, it's different. They didn't copy anything. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
I agree with a friend of mine that Abrams does not have a single creative bone in his body. All he does is mystery box and copying stuff.
Yeah.
And lens flares.
What he does is actually no, never mind. I'm abandoning that.
What is he working on next? What was announced he was working on next? The next movie?
Superman. He's gonna be a producer for the newest Superman. That is written by a left-leaning political.
But I thought the next Superman is black. Written by some black guy who can't write.
No.
I guess that couldn't be the worst thing, but it's not gonna be just a Superman where he happens to be black. It's gonna be a fucking deal.
I want to see him copy Superman 4. I really, really want to see that.
Superman 4?
Oh, God, yeah. That would be amazing. Like, no one tells him it's bad. It's like, JJ, just, to get the latest old Superman and just copy it, man. Yeah. Like, okay.
He's going to get Henry Cavill throwing all the atomic warheads to the sun.
Oh boy, I love the original because I was a kid and I saw it with my dad. It was just good memory for me. But they got progressively strange and stupid, and I'm like, okay, I checked out.
2 was still okay.
2 was fine. 3 was like, ugh.
I'd rather forget about it.
More morally gray to the pretty basic good and evil story in Star Wars. The villainous motives in the sequel trilogy didn't go beyond evil for evil.
A simple story of good and evil is not a bad thing. Fuck off.
Evil's sake. While the Legend of Korra evolved past the simple good versus evil dynamic from Al.
But it has a good versus evil. Well, mostly good.
And Last Airbender was written relatively well. It has its weak points, but it's relatively well written.
There was possibility for Kylo in Episode 8 to possibly be nice or be good or whatever, because he was sort of seesawing on the matter. But it all just goes back down to I want power, I want control, I want to kill. You're like, okay.
Terribly compelling. Even him being a whiny, petulant child was more compelling than I want the power.
It sort of worked when he was trying to tell Rey to come to his side and tell her to let go of the past and all this other stuff. It's like, okay, that's something with the theme of what he's trying to be, what he's trying to teach. It's like, all right, fine, but he still ends up being evil. And you're like, what's the point then?
Why? Why are you doing this, Kylo? Why do you want this?
He just wants Rey. He doesn't get Rey, therefore he's angry. It's like, what, dude? Do actual stuff about your philosophy regardless of Rey, and that would connect you with the through line about characterization as a result of your actions. So he's not completely evil, and he's not completely good. He's sort of figuring stuff out, and that's what I liked about him. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't finished, which implies growth, and we never really We never got that.
This is what happens. He got rejected by his crush.
Yeah.
So
Therefore, I will kill. Okay.
Kylo's evil was what happens to a man when he gets no pussy.
Okay. I'm in control of the Galactic Empire. I can't get Rey. I'm gonna kill everyone. Okay. Tyler Preston, thank you, sir, for the donation. Here's an idea I have for Kylo Ben. Have him be a double agent. He pretends to defect to the dark side in order to infiltrate the First Order. Okay. In order to keep up the lie, he's forced to kill a close friend of his instead of Han Solo.
No, he shouldn't have been a plane. He should have been exactly what he was in The Force Awakens. I think he was fine.
A double agent for who, though? Like, who's the other side?
His mom. He was a double agent for his mom. No.
That would be so weird.
Right. That would have been so convoluted and stupid.
I hate my mom, yet I love her. I hate my dad, but I kind of love him. But I'm going to kill him to make appearances look good. I'm going to no. That's not going to make sense.
No. What should have happened is Han still probably should have died in The Force Awakens. But how it should have been is Kylo does the whole thing where he's forced to kill his father, but he can't do it. And then what happens is that they the whatever Republic Rebellion destroy Starkiller Base, and Han sacrifices himself in the process of saving Kylo, his only son, and then that kind of would keep him on the line of teetering of being maybe Kylo's upset at the rebels that maybe his father died, but like you have a humanity in him, so I still think Han should have died in that movie for the sake of probably Harrison Ford. But that's how it should have happened. That's what should have happened in the movie. Like, fuck.
I don't try to think along those lines when you're talking about Episode 7. It's just like, oh, yeah.
Like, I lost all my respect for Kylo in that, like, fucking movie already. Like, when he just, like, did that dick move. Like, there's no redemption after that.
Oh, at killing Han? Yeah, he should not have killed Han.
Like, Han should have died, but, like, not that way.
He should have died heroically.
So anticlimactic.
Yeah, it honestly was.
Like, it was hilarious because Harrison Ford finally got his fucking wish, but he had to come back in Episode 9, so like, come on, man.
He should have died heroically in some fashion. He went out like a chump, my dude.
And become Ghost Han Solo.
He wasn't even Ghost Han Solo. He was Delusion Han Solo.
Yeah.
Dementia.
Apparently Kylo got dementia, hallucinated his father, and forgave himself.
Hey, Dad, do you know about the diet?
Hey, did it hurt when he stepped?
There's like a giant hole.
I don't know. I am just a figment of your imagination. But I forgive you.
It might as well have like done a line like that. I am just a figment of your imagination.
The Force is a pathway to many delusions that I don't quite understand, and I love myself, so okay, I forgive myself too.
Mama's dead.
No, I'm gonna go find my girlfriend and die in her arms.
Yeah.
Disappear like a chump. Oh my god, he died a virgin.
Oh.
And he was on a ship that had 1 million people crew with a lot of female officers.
I don't know why that makes me so funny just to think of. I guess with the Raylo and how hard the chicks were simping from him to think that Kylo had died.
That's why those was it those skits he did with Saturday Night Live? I can't remember who he did them with, but like that makes perfect sense because like that's pretty much what he's like.
Or he acts like an autistic, petulant boy with the undercover boss.
He just kills people because
Oh yeah, he's like, oh man, I heard Kylo Ren had an 8-pack. I saw him in the showers. And then they were talking about how his sword wasn't real. He was like, what? I heard Kylo Ren's sword's really cool. Wait, let me go see. He walks out of the room, comes back. Hey, look, I found Kylo Ren's lightsaber. They were like, whoa, what the fuck? Oh my god, what the hell? I was like, well, if you're unhappy, you don't have to look at it. And just fucking throws it against the wall. Gets it stuck in the wall because it's a lightsaber. Oh my god. That's the canon version of Kylo Ren.
Avatar and added motives to the villains that were understandable. Amon wanted equality, Unalaq wanted spirituality, Zahir wanted freedom, and Kuvira wanted unity. Each motive a far improvement over Ozai
it's
from
Joe
Avatar.
Biden.
Hold on. Rewind that. Did he
Get
say?
off the sleep meds, boy.
Did he say far better improvement to Fire Lord Ozai or to
No.
Star Wars?
No. What
Star
he's saying is these characters have motives, whereas we don't know the motive for Snoke, why he wanted Rey just to get to Luke. That's stupid.
Kill everyone.
That's fair. Okay. I thought he was going to talk shit about my boy Ozai.
And what's the motive for? Well, we know the motive for Palpatine, but it doesn't make any sense either. It's just like you want to die, but you don't want to die. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, I don't.
Did it look like in TFA there was any motive in Snoke regarding Rey? It didn't seem to me like Snoke knew she existed.
Episode 7?
They knew of the awakening. They didn't know, and then Kylo says she is powerful more than she knows, but she needs a teacher. So that's what they were implying, that he's going to try and get her, and that was about as far as it went. It was all Kylo at that point.
That's when Rey downloaded the Force.
Yeah, she's like the Matrix. I know Force projection. Oh, okay, yeah.
Show me.
Yeah, that whole download from the Force thing is like some bullshit fan fiction stuff, so they don't have to establish anything.
Hey. It's official in the Last Jedi novelization, which is a canon book.
Novelization. This is just a Mary Sue version of learning. All the thing is happening around me. I unconsciously now acquire the skill through presence.
Like, I just love it that like you go up on the internet and like Google like how did Rey know this? Like X, like there's like 20 or 30 of them of these skills, and every single time there's like Stack Overflow of like sci-fi and fantasy questions, and every single time the highest voted answer is like something that references like one of those books. And it's not something that's mentioned in the movie, or you can like visually see. It's every single time it's like some post-movie expansion that like has no reason to even exist for telling like why this thing works. And some of these people are like convinced that this is like a good way of like telling like filling up like plot holes. That's why. Yes.
And there's a difference between how this is done for TLJ, because that is just everything, and it needs tons of books to do that. And the difference to the animated series, to the Clone Wars with Ahsoka, because that was a tie-in between episode 2 and 3 to show you what happened in the meantime, and it hints a little bit at Anakin's downfall, and so it fills in a few gaps. George Lucas was part of directing it, I think, and Lucas did understand that he fucked up a little bit with the movies, and with the prequels, yes, and this show helped
coming in.
straighten it out a little bit, and where he addressed a few mistakes that he made, and I think that's a way more approachable way of with a few writing hiccups. Or what TLJ is doing, those are not writing hiccups. That's just hack writing.
All right, here's Ron Harushin. Smud, Anakin killed those villagers because they were covered in sand. Oh
my god! Oh no!
It explains everything.
And he uses a lightsaber to clean them? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh gee.
You know, it would have been better if like Anakin said, "I hate sand," instead of like, "I killed those people." Like that scene of murdering the entire village, and then like he just walks back with the corpse and tells Padme, "I hate sand."
Oh Jesus!
I hate sand, and these are sand people.
That would have been amazing writing from Lucas, but like this was too genius of a moment.
The opportunities, so lost.
Storyline previous series. In Avatar The Last Airbender, Fire Lord Ozai was the big bad villain. He was the strongest, biggest, most evil person. Like his father and his grandfather before him, he led the Fire Nation in the war over the Four Nations. Aang, along with Team Avatar, had to get stronger spiritually and physically to defeat Ozai and the Fire Nation. And when they did
Toph
finally
looks really
defeat
goofy
them,
here.
it was for good. Ozai didn't return in Legend of Korra to cause more havoc. In fact, no one from the Fire Nation was an antagonist. In the original Star Wars trilogy, the big bad was Emperor Palpatine.
Okay, so that's not a storyline. That's just bringing a dead character back from the dead.
Yeah.
Like what?
Literally coming back to life, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It copies the entire storyline of Episode 4 and arguably 5 and 6, if you want to be literal and go point by point. But he's trying to say the villain, not the story.
And Ozai as the main villain of a several seasons overarching story is completely fine. He doesn't need to be very special. His style, if you want, is power, world domination. It's a very simple thing. Works. He's just a looming threat that's out there somewhere. And we deal with the characters and the journeys all the time, because they have other stuff to do on the way. For, what was that, 3 seasons?
3, yeah.
4? 3?
Three.
Just 3.
Original
and
Avatar.
Yeah, and what Korra does is just rush through one half-baked season to another, and another, and another. And there's no overarching thing. There's
You
nothing
gotta
that
deal
ties
with
it all
it.
together. Yeah, there's nothing that ties it all together, and that is what might have helped this whole mess as well. So that you have a larger red thread that you can take around. You can have these minor villains that are distractions to it, but you can have the main villain at the end still, and or the main plot, the main thread. But in Korra, it just doesn't exist, and the whole, oh, we don't know if we are renewed for another season. Yeah, fuck it. Doesn't matter. Just write the thing you want to write. Write the story you want to write. Work it for that, and hope that you get released. Hope that you do it so well that you get prolonged. And it was for Farscape. It was very sad that they cancelled the show prematurely because they didn't finish the story that I had envisioned for it. And then they got so much fan support because Farscape was so beloved by so many people worldwide that they got the money to finish the story. Sometimes you get lucky, but you have to do really good shit for that.
Yeah, it's the same with
Not
Firefly.
not just this half-assed stuff.
They managed to argue, and was it a Kickstarter? I can't remember how they got that through, but they managed to make a movie or raise the funds for a movie, and it was very well done. Firefly movie is good to watch. It's not great. It's not amazing. It's not amazing movie making, but very polished, very well put together, tight script.
It has its issues, it closes up some stuff.
Right.
Anyone in the audience hasn't watched Firefly? Watch Firefly. Then you can watch Serenity if you want. And if you want to fill in the gaps of all the around stuff, there are some relatively good comics for that flesh all this out, what the Blue Sun Corporation is, what they do. It's good.
Yeah, they do the same with other Joss Whedon work like Angel and Buffy. There's some comic books after the fact. So
yeah, and in those cases, they don't exist to just simply make more money or fill plot holes because the writing is shit. They exist because the funding for the actual thing didn't exist anymore.
The fans still want the story, so they say, okay, what can we do to appease the fans? Let's do the cheapest thing we can make sense of, and that would be a comic book, and it's pretty good. Does the job.
We just want to tell the story.
Yep.
That we wanted to tell, and so here we finish it up. What this Disney sequel trilogy stuff does is just, we want to justify the bullshit we did, and we want to try to make more money, and it's not the we want to tell a good story isn't part of any of the central points of why any of the stuff is made, and that's why it isn't good. Rian Johnson's movie isn't good because he never intended to make a good movie. He never intended to tell a good story. He just wanted to shit on everyone's tables.
He's trying to fuck around. That's what he did.
Yeah. And then he was pissed that he got the hate that he wanted to get.
Yeah, he's pissed that he got the intended reaction. He wanted to piss off half the fandom, and then he was like, "Oh my god, the trolls!
None of the they're all man babies.
They're man babies for
Projection.
I love that interview where like he is like questioned that like, is there like anything that you would change about this movie? And like, do you think like any of the criticism is legitimate? And like, then he replies, no, nothing at all. And then he isn't joking. Like it's not as like a joking like mood. Even he's legitimately believes that like he created like the best craft ever. But this thing.
And he has this ferretish grin on his face all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Ferretus grin.
Like I pissed in your soup. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I pissed in your shit. No, okay, no, hold on, no.
How
Sorry,
dare
I'm
you
getting
don't like
bad
the
at
soup now?
Mixing up words.
How dare you criticize me for not liking the soup that I pissed in?
Piss on me and call it rain.
All right, we got 3 minutes going. Let's do it.
The evil imp. At the end of the trilogy, he is killed by his own apprentice, Darth Vader. Thus, the rebels win and the Empire is defeated. Until a few sentences into the opening crawl of The Force Awakens, Luke Skywalker has vanished. In his absence, the sinister First Order has risen from the ashes of the Empire and will not rest until Skywalker, the Last Jedi, has been destroyed. With the support of the Republic, General Leia Organa leads a brave resistance.
This is almost like saying you make a sequel to The Lord of the Rings, and the title, and there's a title crawl, and it says Sauron reigns.
Well, this is episode.
It's kind of hilarious. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying this is episode 7, so he's probably gonna make a comment about how why did you bring back Luke? Like, why? Like it's like that's the idea. It's a sequel. You have to connect it somehow. It doesn't matter if it's in the title crawl. You got to do something to connect. Now they could just not use any of them old characters. That's fine, but
Yeah.
you know, it depends on how you want to do a sequel. Completely.
You could reference the old characters as legends in history.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
You could go so far as to have Luke just appear as a Force Ghost.
Right,
To be that far ahead in the future.
But that last scene, that cliffhanger is like, oh my god, it's Luke. He's on a mountaintop. That's amazing. Like that, a lot of people were crazy over that, no matter what they thought of the rest of the film.
Yeah, it got me too.
Yeah,
got me as well. And it took a few weeks for everything to settle in, for me to realize there's something stupid, really stupid about this thing. Because the initial setup with we show Kylo's force power, his capability with stopping the blaster shot in midair. That hit home. That is okay. This guy, we need to take this guy seriously. This was something we haven't seen that before. Looks cool, and okay, this guy knows his force powers. Okay, interesting threat, and then it just falls apart.
Order, resistance. I thought the story was complete. The major issue I have here with this is that it all makes the original trilogy seem fruitless, as if all the work Luke, Leia, Han, and the team did was for nothing. Even as if in Legend of Korra, the Fire Nation was back, even after Team Avatar defeated them.
I'm sorry to pause, but like it's kind of funny that like he called the sequel trilogy like good, and he has like 5 points already. It's just like bashing at the core of the movies.
Maybe you should have used another example.
Yeah. Like he just made a claim that like it's good, and like judging from his name that he is like an objective critic.
Is this double?
He might be thinking that it's objectively good.
No, he didn't say that. But
like, he didn't say that, but it might be there.
It will make their accomplishments feel very hollow. Strong female character. Now, this isn't really something that I think the sequel trilogy should have learned from Korra. It's just more of an observation, because I think both series have well-written, strong female leads. I'm also pointing out that what you do, you can
Okay, we're done. I'm sorry, we're finished. This is done. This is completely done.
This is a satire.
This is a joke.
Objectively do not know what a well-written character is, much less a well-written female character, much less a well-written strong female character.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
My God.
And Korra has fucking Katara and Toph to live up to, and Star Wars.
Those are well-written, strong female characters.
Leia and Bastila and Ahsoka, like.
Those are well-written, strong female characters, all in their own special way, all in very different ways. Korra is just. I can only assume that, with the benefit of the doubt, that people like this guy know what that. Try to be logical and argue from the best media they know, they have consumed in their lifetime, that things like Korra is the best stuff they have ever seen. That's the only stuff they've ever seen.
No,
they've seen nothing to compare it. They don't know.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Anyone who's watched Korra should know better because they watched Avatar.
Right, which makes my benefit of the doubt fall apart because you have to go because he saw The Last Airbender. Fuck.
All right. I think we're done. He doesn't know. He doesn't have to know the terms for like Mary Sue, but he has to at least identify that there's something wrong with the character and how they act and do things. Like that's common. Anyone can see that. Oh, they're strong. It's like no. They're not strong. They're gods. Okay, she's extremely powerful. She's beyond.
The gods in Xena were written better.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Rey is a god. Korra is a cunt who is forceful and throws her weight around to get what she wants. That's how she's strong.
Well, if this is one of the points he's making, he's going to say, well, Korra is the better version, therefore Rey should be like Korra more. And you're like, what? Again, the example of the 8-sided wheel and the 6-sided wheel. It's like, it's still crap. It's still not a circle. So I don't think we need to. This is a big sticking point for a lot of people, especially me, because we've talked about this to death. We know the factors that make Rey a horrible character, and if you can't see that, then you have not studied characters or characterization or stories in general to not even know the term. Maybe he'll bring it up later, but if he's not addressing it in this sentence, then no, I don't think we need to continue.
I know. Well, and like one last thing on the point of Rey in Avatar and female characters is my sister sent me like a video or a TikTok explaining how Rey isn't actually like a Mary Sue. People are just strong women. And I sat there, I was like, no, actually she isn't a good character because she has no direction and all the things. And the only thing I had to say is think about Katara. And immediately my sister, who is a liberal type, was immediately like, oh, no, you're right, actually. Rey is a shit character.
That was enough. That was enough.
Invoking Katara's name made her realize that Rey was a shit character.
Okay. Well, I'm done. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to call it a day.
Same.
Whatever. I already started screaming in the mic. I'm so
what I would take from your story setter is that invoke a well-written character that the person making the stupid claim knows and likes.
Yeah.
That's how maybe you can get through the cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, maybe that's how you get through it. A lot of people invoke the aliens too. But I say for the kind of the younger generation, even for me, I've seen Aliens. Sorry, I said Aliens too. I've seen Aliens, but that's sort of a kind of an old example for female characters and not someone that a lot of the younger girls connect with. So
they don't know these movies. That's
they don't know these
Yeah.
movies really. Like I've seen them. A couple of people seen them, but if I go to people like girls my age and I try to come up with Ripley as an example, they're not going to connect with that and it's not going to get through to them. That's why I use Katara. But anyway.
All right. Well, I think it's enough for me for this video. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say about it, or you're happy with the I mean, even I will argue that it's probably a good idea to use a slightly better story to fix, at least reasonably fix, a worse story. You can learn a lot of things from other stories, of course, even if they are imperfect. So
I don't know why he chose Korra. Just why not use the original Avatar? Because it's so good. Just if you haven't seen the Avatar: The Last Airbender, watch it. It's a masterpiece. It's beautiful. It's mwah.
And like pretty much like the characters from Korra, like from like what ER was like saying about them is just like a watered down version of like the same ones that you got from the original Avatar, the Last Airbender. So
Yeah.
it really isn't much to
Everything Korra
You get a
offers
moment.
is
You get a moment of nostalgia, and that's it.
yeah.
all right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. I might have another Smud Talk later this evening, probably another half hour, if I can scrounge it up. But I'll tell you what it's about very soon if it does happen. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll talk to you real soon, perhaps tomorrow or perhaps tonight. I don't know yet. So, ta-ta.
See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.